How's it going, guys? Chris back here again with some more Historic Brawl. Now today, about to say, I've been trying to get back into Standard, and one of my consistent problems with Standard decks is currently I just can't get any of my creatures to stay alive. Like, it's weird how decent our removal is at the moment. So I kind of wanted to build a Brawl deck around making the ultimate creature. And Hypnotoad is our candidate for ultimate creature. In our wildest dreams, we get Hypnotoad to the point where he has an indestructible counter on him, a hexproof counter on him, a couple of +1/+1 counters, and he can just swing forever. We have some mono green, so I'm not worried about putting my commander out. We're up against Scoots for him too, which is a little scary, but eh. That's a lot of ramp. Don't know how I feel about that. We're gonna get down Mowgli. No swing yet. I ideally want to, so we have 5 mana right now. We might be able to Rebuke next turn and then just swing in for a bunch. We want Maskwood Nexus down before that happens so that we get all the frog triggers, but sadly, I'm just not getting there. I need to draw another land, and our opponent is outpacing us by a minute. And the problem is, even if I draw another land, it's probably better just to River's Rebuke than Maskwood Nexus. Although, our opponent is like board starved, so their mana is slightly better than ours now, but at the beginning of last turn it was essentially the same. We both had 4 lands and a mana dork. Although Cyrus is technically, it's not really a mana dork, but it could be if you had a land that tapped for 2 mana, right? Like, that could be a thing. Although on Arena we only have 1 land that really taps for multiple mana. Unless you count some of the flip lands from no block. You win, opponent. 3 damage my way. Can't even play a natural growth. That's kind of sad, man. Hey, we have lands. Finally. That's nice. So they can block with the Durgan, and the Durgan would trade. Are we gonna search lands or make a spirit? Probably a spirit, because that's the highest value. Although they're also landlight, so you know, searching does make more sense. All of that makes sense. I am gonna get some mill frog value next turn, though. That is unavoidable at this point. Although, translating that into a victory is the difficult part, right? Carnage Tyrant. Taking 6 doesn't sound bad. No attack, opponent. or no block. Okay, let's rebuke. Whoever said one-sided board wrath, we're not fine. Our opponent has GG'd out. Well, that didn't help our case on that subject very much, did it? Hey. Okay, worth a gold. Not bad, not bad. I need to start saving again. I was saving, and then I had a momentary lapse and spent all the gold to acquire packs, which is not what you want to do, really. But, it's only marginally worse than drafting these days, which is still the best way to do it, but it was only marginally worse, and it takes significantly less time. There is a theoretical argument for a return in investment. I think we're going Search of Greatness so that we can cast a good boy next turn. We're up against Kasima Enigma Sage, which is a neat card, to be sure, but Frog. So next time we can play Grolnok, the Omnivore. Yeah, I'll take it. We don't have a 5-drop. So there might have been an argument for playing... No, it wouldn't have actually done anything. We could have played like Sword of Fortune Frontier. And then put Mogwai in during our upkeep. Yeah, I'll keep the land. The land is actually kind of nifty. Nice. It's a shame that we lost one of our wrath, but we actually have a way of getting through, which is... I may have judged you too harshly, Sword of Fortune Frontier, although I've always really been a fan of you. So I can't say for certain that I'm not a fan, because I kind of am, if I'm being honest. Ooh, crap. The Cavalier Gales, yeah, no, can block it. That makes sense. Simic Ascendancy. I got me one of those too. It's cool that we're on the same wavelength, opponent. Might just need a key to the archive. Don't think World does anything anymore. So just 5. Thank you, Hardened Scales. You make a decent blocker now. So we might go into Tenacious Pup and then into Mowu so that we get some counters. Great Henge is a card that's not in this deck that should be in this deck, but I kind of forgot about it. Grimoire Gauntlet wouldn't be too bad either. Although we're running, I guess our mana rocks count as non-creature spells, so. You're turning my frog into a frog? How neat. How novel. Yeah, no. Why is Flynn in the deck? I wonder. Let's put this one into play. Mowu is now an 8/8. If we assemble the right combination of spells, we can make him even bigger, but it's gonna be a bit hard. Dominus, I have that in the deck too. I don't know, it feels good seeing similar decks in the wild. My god, man. Is that enough to win? It is. Block there. Block there. Block there. We're still dead. Very sad. That was the Simic Ascendancy win. I would have just passed, but our opponent was probably worried that we had some kind of enchantment interaction, which green is definitely guilty of having. But we don't do that here. You ever see me on the ladder, there's a decent chance that the deck I'm sporting does not have enchantment removal in it, just because it's just such a pain to set aside a slot for it. It's not really, it's just never something I really think of. And speaking of enchantments, Goshintai, Shrine of Life's Origin, is a really well-known enchantment deck. So this is a bad hand to keep. I say I keep it. I didn't mean to. I was going the other way, but mistakes were made. On the plus side, Ronas and Zopandrel is a good way to do a lot of damage in a one turn. Go on a frog first, so that way I can go into Worm Hidden Archive. Set up for the following turns. That's the idea behind it. I don't know, Grolnok has a permanent bias because his ability only works with permanents, right? So you want to have a lot of permanents in the deck to really benefit off of him. Let's swing in. Make our opponent know we're serious. Wormlet. And a Hidden Archive. Gain a life. This is actually shaped up very nicely. So we have 5, 7. So we can get down the Dominus before we get down the Ronas. We're going to get down the Ronas before we get down the Dominus. We're playing one of them next turn. We get done the Dominus first because the Dominus doubles toughness, which Ronos doesn't. Neat. Don't have a double green. So we're not getting down either, unfortunately. Solemn. Opponent. Take action. I need a forest. If I have any chance of getting through this game. Forest number 3. We won't attack. We need our attackers, really. We have a lot of good doubling cards at the moment. We just have to survive. Which is a bit rough. Ooh, that's bad. Any target, too. Rough. I think we start with Ronas. Yeah, I think they're already dying. That's bad. So we force a trade if they want to take out the Solemn. No, the Solemn is the only one they can take out without trading. The others are just strict trades. The twice favored. Yeah, I thought he would block there. Makes a lot of sense, honestly. Draw a card. Land, please. Wrong one, but okay. I do have dual lands somewhere. What do we hit an opponent? Ronos would be, I don't know, the scariest creature, but nope, just me. Okay. Shrine to All. You'd love to see it. And God Favored and Utopia, the twice favored, and Gushentai are just a little strong together, aren't they? Not a synergy I saw coming. Once more with our frog. I think this is our game 3. It might be our game 4, but it doesn't matter too much because we have not yet achieved our goal. But I know you guys have asked for some little look at the deck, and I might be doing that in the near future. I don't know off the top of my head though how or in what way I would implement such a thing. Hardened Scales, we don't really have a good creature to put our Hydra's growth on, but you know, the hexproof counter right there, that's pretty good. Pretty good. We're gonna go blue, because blue's a pretty cool color. I have a preference towards it, if I'm being completely honest. I don't really want to slap an enchantment on a creature with a mono black opponent. That seems a little silly. But it could be cool though, you know? It could be cool. Draw a card. Not a land. We got there in the end. A bit rough, but we did get there in the end. Does this opponent not have removal? Or are they just the tightest of players? Grolnok is strong, man. He is powerful. He's a Hypnotoad for a reason. You sacrifice a 2-drop to make me not happy. Can I get down Mowu and put a Hydra's growth on him? I'm curious now at this point. Since it's come to this, we might as well give it a try. We'll attack here, and we'll attack here, and here. Poor Soren, man. He took a bit of a hit. Our opponent has 3 lands, so that's why we're doing so well. Is it Wrath of God time? I feel like it could be. Losing Welcoming Vampire would be very sad, but Edgar Markov, okay, well that's better. They might be thinking that Wrathing is not effective at this point anyways, because your opponent has 6 lands and then 6 additional mana from Mana Rocks. It's kind of sad, man. Kind of sad. Wormlet. This guy. Thrun. In Search of Greatness. Begin the assault. It's a lot of death. Six plus one counters, okay. See, I need a way to kill my my winged Pteron to move its counter to Ozolith, to move its counter to Grolnok. And if I can do that, well, he's halfway towards immortality. You might have forgotten, but at the beginning of this date, I did state that our goal is to make an immortal frog. Which I'm still down to do, if our opponent gives us a chance to. It is looking a little bit dire on their end, though. I would not blame them for not wanting to continue. Who we put into play? Okay. It's a neat one. I think we Ancient Bronze Dragon. And then I think we 1, 2, Grolnok. We have the counters. Darn. Traverse the Outlands is just the best spell ramp on Arena at the moment. I've never resolved it and not felt happy about it. We'll do a little look at the deck at the end because I do want to be mindful about you guys and your suggestions because you've been kind enough to watch my videos. I might as well go out of my way a little bit to accommodate you where I can. So it's basically just a Hardened Scales type of deck. Our main plans are with our Pteron, which we saw on the deck. It's the only way to get a hexproof counter, which is very rare, very nice to have. Backup for hexproof, we have shield counters, but not too exciting in comparison. We also have the Dominuses. Tekuthal, he gives an indestructible counter, which you find a way to remove and get to the Ozolith, which you then put on the frog, and you make the Immortal frog. The dream is not dead. An Immortal frog will be made at some point in the future. And if I do, I will quickly hit record and maybe make it a short or something, but the frog dream, not dead. I will see you guys next time. Bye for now.